All right. Ready? Let's go.
Scotch, bourbon, and rye, yeah, we on that whiskey. Wanna discuss an array of topics, conversation simply. Gonna drop your whiskey bars with the sip hitting for. Could you pass it? You want more? Another glass, let it flow. A steady pour. Steady pour. Yeah, a steady pour. A steady pour of growing, a steady pour of sharing, a steady pour of knowing. Now pass that Glen Carry. So pull up a chair, grab a glass, and enjoy a melanin-infused perspective with a whiskey twist. Yeah, yeah, a steady pour.
Yes, sir. We back. We made it back from Kentucky. What's up, y'all? I'm your poor coach, Drew.
Calvin.
Tony, what's up?
Darius. What it do, baby?
Yes, sir. You listen to a Steady Pour podcast, fresh back from Kentucky.
Yes, sir. I made it this year.
Oh, man.
Yes. Thank God for that.
I made it this year.
Because you would have been hearing
No more
all
jokes.
sorts of
No
stories.
more
You might have had to
jokes.
leave the pod. If you
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
At least for the season
Yeah.
or episode.
You're out.
Like, yo, bro, it's a done deal,
It's
bro.
a wrap
over.
for you, my
It's over.
guy.
Right.
But no,
If
that was
not, you just been feeling real bad.
I already know. I know.
Yeah, just burgers alone.
Don't
Yeah.
even matter. It don't even matter though, because I was there.
That's
You were
it.
there.
None of that matters.
None of that.
Hey, and you were in full effect, man. It was like full Darius for the week. Everybody was like, "Yo,
All
You really want to
Yeah.
say full D, did you?
full."
I think you were.
Take it there.
You're like, no, I can't say that.
That's a little stutter before he's like, oh, shoot.
Right, exactly. He was full,
Like, it makes sense, but
full Darius.
let me just say the full name here.
But fellas, we had a time out there.
Yeah, man.
And we definitely wanted to give it its due justice in terms of going through the experience, especially now that all four of us, right? Because before we were holding back just a little bit, and actually we weren't. We weren't.
No, I was about to say.
I mean, we were in the beginning.
And
We definitely were in the beginning.
when Darius can come, but now we were all there, right? And so we have to go through because Paul Black Bourbon Maverick put
out to
on
Paul,
one
man.
heck of an event,
The architect.
100%.
and it's only going to keep getting better and better. Man, it was just an awesome experience. So
Absolutely.
let's just jump right into it. In terms of
Right.
going through the itinerary. First of all, the itinerary, I guess, is he kind of had it. He had his own T-shirt, right? T-shirt for the Black Bourbon Run, and he used my favorite artist, Kanye West, as the inspiration behind the
Yes.
right. So he had my neat bourbon fantasy,
Yeah.
and he had the picture of that album cover, but it was of a bourbon,
So almost like a recreation of the
Yeah.
a recreation of the album cover.
The whole censor and all that.
Right.
The bottle. Like, yeah. It was
And the
pretty dope.
track listing was the itinerary.
That's
And so,
Fire.
I mean, come on. Like, come on, guys. I mean,
If you're designing a shirt for Drew,
He was right. It was like,
for Drew specifically. This was made for me.
like,
but I had to get one too. I got one too.
I was about to order
I did not.
I'm about to order like 3 or 4 of them. I want because they come different. I was about to.
when I first saw it, I'm like, did you collab with my man with this? Like, it's like a collaboration.
I think you can
Without
get them
telling us?
online too.
You
now,
can.
so,
That's what I was about. Yeah.
You got a hoodie
I
too.
almost
and all
treat it like
that?
a bottle. But yeah. So I mean, just off the rip, off of that alone, and then as soon as we got there, it was a bottle share.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Sunday night football.
Yes.
It was a bottle share. I think the theme for the first one was finished whiskeys.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there were other bottle shares that happened throughout the event, right? So there was a total of 3
Three.
bottle shares.
Yeah.
That was
Officially, there was also a
yes. There were 3
That's all we're talking about.
there were 3 official bottle shares
Yes.
that happened throughout the itinerary, and I guess we can just talk about because that was part of the
Yeah.
that was
It's
one
a
of the
big
crazy
part of the experience.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of whiskeys that I've never had. I've had at those bottle shops.
Right.
And there was so much whiskey. My God.
So
Like the
many
first one was like
different
super
styles.
light. Like people were kind of nervous about it. Then the second night, compared to the second night.
I was about to
compared to the second night.
The only way you can say any of them bottle shares was light was just compared to another night.
Right.
of
Exactly.
bottle share.
Right.
Because at one point,
None of them bottle shares was light.
the table was like folded in at one point.
Yeah, that was first night. First night,
it
that
was.
table was
I drank
light.
that much that first night.
And we were also trying to work too, because we was dropping the whiskey
were,
bars.
we
It
were.
was going around.
working, drinking.
Yeah. So we had to definitely do that at the beginning, because
Right.
after the fact,
Yeah.
it was wild.
He was lost to the sauce, man.
Yeah. So yeah, they had the first bottle share was finished whiskeys. The second one was straight bourbon whiskeys,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
And then the third one was Utopia, which essentially were those high unicorn
Right.
bottles, high priced unicorn bottles that you don't normally see. And man, will I tell you, everybody brought the heat.
Might have to throw some B-roll in of just the table.
Like,
It's just
The heat.
It was ridiculous.
It was
like
insane.
there had to be a different table to like, you know,
account for everything.
account for like, okay, these are the bottles that you really want to. But at the same time, they created this other like, all right, this doesn't. I mean, it's a dope bottle, but like we're gonna put this over here
Yeah.
with the rest
Yeah.
of them, and even
With
that,
gin pop.
and even that table alone was popping.
Yeah.
It was.
So, you know, I thought it was funny how they were trying to like slowly like curate that that lineup
Right.
where it was like, you know, because there was King of Kentucky on there, there was George Stagg, there was what else was on there? There was Maker's Mark Cellar
Celery.
cellar
yeah.
aged. Oh my goodness.
Old Carter's rare character.
Didn't they have
out there.
the straight from the bottle Blantons?
Yeah, straight
Or
from
straight
the
from the
barrel.
barrel Blanton.
Yeah, they did.
I think there was a
They
Blanton's
did.
Gold on there too. I mean, there was just
Yep.
everywhere you turn, there was something crazy. You're just like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, it was nuts.
My man brought the Obtainium.
I did. I brought that. Some people had to have everybody try that.
Gin Pop.
Yeah, that was gin pop.
The E.H. Taylor was on Gin Pop.
Yeah. Barrel proof.
The Willett
yeah,
was
yeah.
on Gin
Yeah,
Pop.
yeah.
Yeah.
So of course at the last bottle share, not everybody we're gonna take those bottles. Like Paul wasn't gonna take all those bottles home.
Right.
People weren't taking
He
bottles
was
back.
asking people to take
He
it.
was asking people to take bottles, and so I mean, how that went, I don't know. Was it like a full out blitz and people were grabbing things?
There was
People
definitely,
was real
definitely
cool.
some blitzing I saw.
Yeah.
Sneak like.
Nobody blitzed me. I was
It's
just
very
moving
little-
along.
And there was some sneak like there was
Yeah.
like whose bottle was this? Let me go see if I could find whose bottle this
Right,
was.
right.
You turn around, the bottle
They're
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Like, and there had to be some reconnaissance of like, all right, who was here in this area? Let me figure out like and question
Most
them.
bottles were fine, but there's a couple that was like, okay.
I need
you
that
can't
back,
just
brother.
be
I need
grabbing
that back.
So there was one bottle where I asked if all right, let me find whose bottle this is. I found who the bottle was. He's like, oh, you want it? Yeah, you can have it. Shout out to Adam.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that he said it was his. It's kind of funny if it actually wasn't.
Imagine.
But I could right.
He's just like,
He's the type
yeah,
of guy
sure.
that would say like, yeah,
He
you
would.
can have it, and then it's not
people
really.
that told you after the fact, like, yo, by the way, that wasn't mine.
So by the time I did that, someone had already snatched it. Like, and I'm talking seconds
Wow.
off the table. I was like, wait, no. Who's? And I saw someone walking away, and I was like, wait. And I was like, wait. And he literally had it, and I was like, yeah, tucked. And he was like, oh, I thought I could take it. I was like, nah, I asked permission on that one, dog. Nah. So that was actually the Remus Reserve,
Oh, nice.
the 15-year-old straight bourbon whiskey. I figured that's something that we can start out with because it is a 97.8 proof.
Okay.
It's the 2022 limited edition release.
Such a sexy bottle.
Yeah, I mean, presentation alone, I was like, hold on, let me.
It throws me off. Like I want to like the bottle more than I actually like the bottle. Like it's nice, but it feels like it's trying too hard, and you know what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to say that too. It's like, he's thinking about Virginia Black. The way you were speaking, I'm like, he's thinking about Virginia Black
That's
in that bottle.
exactly what it reminds
me
me
see.
of. So it's
like-
automatically kind of a turn off for me.
That's that high end perfume, man.
I mean, it does have a perfume-esque look to it.
Gold. I
get what you're saying.
Like
It turns. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
All right, well, let's try it and see.
Let's just wash it out of our memories and our palates.
Right.
And let's focus on this Remus and Gatsby Reserve.
Yeah, let's jump right in. We already got them poured because we professionals now.
Because we're good at this.
It only took 5 years.
It takes time, man.
All right,
A lot going on in the nose.
Yeah, it's
What, 97?
It's a lot going on here.
Smells like it should be high notes.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, sweet and floral. I'm getting.
I'm getting sweet and medicinal.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing. That's why I'm thinking it smells a little bit higher proof.
I got a little citrus on it,
Okay.
but like lemony, like lemongrass.
Okay.
Honestly, the nose is making me salivate.
It's kind of a nice nose,
Making me really want to sip
That's why
this joint.
I'm just smelling right now. I haven't tasted
I know. I'm trying not to. I'm waiting for somebody to break it.
We're all doing that same. Who's gonna sip first?
All right.
Drew broke it.
Now I can go too.
Initially, it drinks hotter than 97.8, but then in the finish, you feel that it's light.
Oh yeah.
At first, it started off like hold on, it's got something to it in terms of like proof.
Yeah.
But then it actually fades out pretty quickly.
Definitely comes on strong, and then it's like, yeah, I'm really a nice guy.
You can trust me. Right. Yeah, it just falls flat. Like it's not much of a lingering as far as the flavor goes, in my opinion.
I think it's flavorful in the front end.
Yeah.
And then the finish is
Yeah, I don't know if I love the finish.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So
It's not
Not horrible. I'm
it's
just.
just not much of a finish there.
on that front end, I'm getting that lemongrass still, and it's sweet. Something else that I'm getting, I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah. I'm getting traditional. Sorry, go ahead, man.
no, I'm getting like a sweet syrupy. It's a bit of a toastedness to it too. Like it's not the oak. It's like a toasted something toasted brown sugar maybe, or like a
Yeah.
I get that.
I'm getting a spice or something.
Yeah, there's some.
Something like spicy is just like
And it's just straight bourbon whiskey, right?
it's not rye at all, right? It's just it's straight bourbon whiskey, but I am getting a
Did you
heavy
say
spice.
16 years old?
15.
15. Wow.
Cash strength as well.
Indiana. That means MGP. Most of the time.
Right. Not always.
I mean, it's. Is anybody ready to give a pour on it?
I don't know if I give it legendary sip status.
Yeah, I'm thinking for
That's
like
what it says on the back.
Well, and the price tag on it too. That's something.
15
Well,
years.
how much? Well, let's
Yeah,
let's
we
do
can
that.
do
Then
our
we can go
pours.
into that.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
All right.
How much of a pour you giving this tone?
I'm gonna go 3.25.
Okay.
A little over. Not mad.
Not mad at it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's by no means bad. I just don't think there's anything extraordinary about it. Traditional bourbon notes. Like I said, the initial taste is pretty good. I'm just the finish kind of falls flat, and there's some notes on the back end. I'm trying to decipher exactly what it is that I don't love, but so I feel like 3.25 is in that range.
Yeah.
You know, for me. So
I'm right there with you.
Go ahead, Darius. Speak on it. How
I'm
much of a pour are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it a solid 3.
wow.
And I'm probably basing that off of the bottle itself, with the stats, the 15 year, the cash strength, and the price. For that, all of that, I like it though. It's good, but for all of that, I can't really give it that much of a higher rating. And like Sony said, the finish is just kind of falls flat. The flavor is there in the beginning, and that's cool. But yeah.
That's all right.
It's all right.
It's okay. It's okay. I was expecting a little bit more for just what I'm looking at, and I'm not really getting that. So I'm just gonna give it a 3. I'm not mad at it.
Gotcha. How much of a pour are you giving this cow?
I'm gonna go with a solid 3. And the only reason why it's a 3 is because I want to give it more respect. Because, you know what I mean? It's off of age. And it's, like Tony said, it's not bad. There's nothing about it that, like, is offensive or turns me off and where it would kind of go below 3. But there is definitely nothing that's like, well, maybe I could, no. The nose on this is much better than the actual flavor.
Right.
And the only thing that to me carries over is that lemongrassy kind of taste.
Did you enjoy
which I
lemongrass?
like.
Okay.
It's kind of it's almost it's bordering on refreshing, and I think that's where that lightness comes in that on the back end, but it's nothing that would make me, like, I'm not reaching back for the bottle. If we got a bunch of bottles, I would almost forget about this within the next pour.
It's a nice daily sipper though, like something light, something you could just enjoy, not really care too much about. Like
if it were a daily sipper type of,
price.
But that's the thing. I'm trying. I mean, I feel like you've been in this position too, where you tell them to stop thinking about the price, at least yet.
Well, I wasn't. I was more
Or
so
the-
thinking of like the 15 years,
The presentation.
like all of that.
Yeah.
that
The
you
attributes.
expect.
Right.
Expecting a
That's
little
not
more.
a daily sipper
Yeah.
type of vibe that is giving me.
Oh yeah,
you
it's
know
something
what
you
I
want to
mean?
crack out for like a special occasion, but
Right.
because of how it tastes, you probably not want.
Right.
I'm like,
Okay. Yeah, I feel that. I think I'm sort of with both you guys, and but I'm going to give it a little bit more. I'm going to say a 3.25. So I'm with Tone on that one, only because I'm thinking about. I'm actually it's an easy sipper, easy drinker. I'm trying not to let my I like a high proof, right? But there's a lot of flavor there on the initial taste. I feel like I wouldn't mind bringing this out for someone that is not a proof snob, and maybe more starting out in their journey to kind of like, oh, taste this. I think there's going to be flavors there. It would be something to talk about. It's approachable, but to the point of it's when you look at it and you see it, you're like you're expecting something.
High expectations.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard not to. But if I just not knowing what it was and it was sipping it by itself, I'm like, oh, this is a good sipper. I like it. It's flavorful. I mean, the finish, it doesn't have a long finish.
Really there.
But there is a lot of flavor on the initial sip, so it's approachable. So I think it's kind of nice from that perspective.
It's a nice entry point bourbon, but not at an entry point price.
Yeah, what's the
Absolutely not.
I don't even know what the price is.
I can imagine
I was
what the
almost
price is.
going to
You
say.
So according to the Booze app, the MSRP on this is $240.
$240 is
shelf-
MSRP.
Yes, shelf price is $250. Fair price $315, and I literally just saw it on the shelf for like $365.
No, sir. No.
No.
So
That will be sitting on that shelf for quite a while.
Now, somebody gonna cop that.
Oh, somebody will.
not us.
They gonna catch them vibes. Like,
The Gatsby Reserve. I love the Great Gatsby.
so that was Remus Gatsby Reserve, and that pretty much I picked up at one of the bottles picked up at the bottle share, and the bottle share, like we said, was one of the highlights. Certainly,
Oh, yeah. All of them.
Definitely was, man. It's the whole vibe there.
And so the first distillery that we went to Maker's Mark.
Yes.
And Tone actually had the opportunity to participate in the barrel pick.
I did.
by himself.
Well, not by himself, but like.
yeah.
Without us.
That's
Yeah,
by himself.
so Tony got
I got the email and I was like, I gotta tell these guys.
He was like, I gotta tell these guys.
He was, he was like, yeah, did you get the email? I know this guy.
Did you guys get
but
one?
no, yeah, Tone, he went a little bit earlier. He got escorted in a private VIP van.
Private VIP.
And
It was a van.
it was like a Sprinter.
Yeah, right. It's just a smaller version.
right.
Of,
No,
not a
listen.
limousine.
But no,
wild, man.
talk to us about a little bit of how that experience went.
It was a good time, man. It was a different experience because I had never been to Maker's Mark first of all. So that was completely different. I've had Maker's Mark, obviously. That was like one of my kind of gateway bourbons I would start with. But it was kind of cool going there, doing the tour with our group, and then walking into the private barrel selection room, which was crazy. It was like this huge room, and then up on the wall, they had like all these different shelves of all the different private barrel selections they had done. And I mean, they were like 6, 7 deep on each shelf of like, you know,
we saw from the outside.
a bottle of each one that people had done. So that was kind of cool. It was a little intimidating because, you know, normal barrel selection, you go in and you kind of have like a selection of barrels that are ready to go, basically. And you're kind of sipping through and deciding between the barrels that they have already. This is, you know, you're getting a combination of staves that you want to put in to make a blend, basically. So it is like making a private blend. So, you know, they kind of walked us through what each stave was, and then we had to pick 10 staves to put into this barrel to make our blend.
But it's only out of 5 staves.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, you're right. So, you know, you got to double up on
So
different ones.
So you gotta
it's
equal
10. It's 10
Right.
individual
Total.
staves that are going in.
Right.
But the
5
selection
recipes.
is just 5
5.
different types of
Correct.
staves. Gotcha.
Yeah, so, you know, some staves are stronger than others. So we kind of, you know, like we started out with a recipe that had like a spicier stave in, and we put a bunch of those. Try that. Oh, well, that's way too much. So we had to kind of level it out with some different ones. They had Maker's 46 as one of the staves, which is kind of like a balancing. It kind of like help bring it back a little bit.
French oak.
Yeah, I'm trying. I wish I had a picture. I have a picture on my phone of like the exact one we picked. I don't know if we can post that or whatnot, but of our combination of staves that we made our blend up of.
From what I'm hearing is it was less a barrel selection.
Right.
Right? Because you weren't really picking a barrel.
No.
You were producing a recipe.
Correct.
For your barrel.
Right.
Correct.
Right. So it seems like y'all were doing more blending than kind of what you would perceive blending to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Than actually a barrel selection.
Yeah.
And that's how that was Maker's Mark's way of participating in the single barrel process.
Kind of their own stamp on it. Right. I don't think anybody else is really
That's pretty
doing
cool.
a barrel
That's
like that.
pretty dope.
Yeah. So, and we had one, you know, we had a blend that we came up with that was more palatable and kind of like, it's Maker's. It's good. It'll sell, you know, like, it was good. And, you know, half of the group wanted that. And then there was that kind of funky, spicy blend, which is what we ended up going with.
Nice.
How many blends did you guys do?
Well, I mean,
One
we tried.
blend.
Yeah, we tried different combinations.
Yeah,
we tried a
yeah.
bunch and kind of came down to 2 that were really good, and then it was between the 2 of those. And
Y'all went with the spice.
yeah, well, we gave Jeff Hill, who OC Bottle Shop, who's you know getting the barrel and who's going to have it through his store, and we kind of said, hey, we're between this and this. And he said, go with that off-profile funky one. We said, all right. So
Say less.
I'm all for it.
yeah,
I'm
so
all for it.
hopefully that should be out soon. And but it was a good experience. But you
excited.
guys got to do a different experience, right? Because we didn't like where you guys went through. And actually got to do your own bottles.
we actually got to do the whole tour. And,
Okay.
and it was pretty dope, actually.
Was it?
Our tour guide, one was a black dude, which was
yeah, he
nice
was fire.
because he was able to kind of give us a tour as a bunch of black people, like from a little bit more of a black perspective.
Okay.
So like obviously the tour is what the tour is, the history is whatever, you know. But he was able to answer questions that I think other people would not have been able to answer or even understand where we're coming from the question.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, and he was very knowledgeable, knew the whole history, had a nice kind of cadence to how he laid out the different sections.
Nice.
It was
He was dope.
it was cool.
And you got your own bottles, right?
We did.
From that experience?
I think. We did because we did the dipping experience.
Oh, you got to. Okay,
We got to put
you
the
got,
wax in.
you got to actually do that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's
You didn't
cool.
get to do that?
No, I didn't get to do that.
The opening, the new opening.
Oh yeah, it's in our opening. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't get to talk to you guys about that, so I didn't know. Like, so is it pretty like standard? Like, you kind of go up. Do they kind of like give you?
Kind
they-
of, but
they
everybody has a coach. You know what I
Really?
mean?
You have
So
a
there's like
dipping
3 or-
coach?
There's like
Yeah.
3 or 4 stations where
Really?
you like walk up, and then you walk to like a station, and the person is there and kind of
Guides
coaches you how
Yeah.
to. Because if you stay too long, then it gets a little funky.
mess your dip up.
Right.
Yeah.
Too much dip on your chip.
If you go if you go too fast, then you know what I mean. You don't get the same like the
Gotcha.
drip because you want that drip.
You gotta get to
Yeah. That's that Maker's Mark trademark.
Yeah, so
That's cool, man.
yeah, Maker's Mark was that was a pretty cool tour, especially to kick it off. And then the next event that we did was we actually all participated in a barrel pick with Blue Run.
Ooh, Trey Wade.
Yeah, we had
Shout out Trey,
Trey
man.
Wade host
That was
a
just
barrel
whiskey.
selection process where it was all of us, like 40 of us or
Yeah.
however
The
many.
whole group.
Everybody
Whole
came.
group
40 plus.
participated. My man was using what do you call it? Like
App.
an event participation app.
Yeah.
For you to like
go on, you
you know,
put
if you ever been to a
like,
seminar and they want you to
yeah,
participate
yeah.
and they say, you know, scan this code and enter your answer to
Yeah.
this, like he kind of framed it that way
Yeah.
in terms of how to do a barrel pick, which was dope.
Because I was wondering, I'm like, how do you do that with
That
that many
was dope.
people?
like
Nah,
50,
It's the only way you could do it,
votes.
really.
It worked
Yeah,
out
man.
perfectly.
Yeah.
And that was a fun experience.
Yeah.
That was certainly a fun experience going through that and voting because we were first voting samples off,
Right.
Yeah.
right? And then it came down to
The two.
the last two, which apparently was neck and neck.
I'm still
Yeah.
mad about that, man. I'm still
I was
mad.
for it. I was for all the
Me
way.
and Tom were good.
Yeah.
I'm
I
trying
think
to
we
remember.
were the same.
We got
Me and
the-
you, yeah,
think
we
so.
were divided evenly. Which
Yeah.
ironically, that's how it always
Came
goes,
down to
but-
sample B, sample D.
Yeah.
How Trey ran that was awesome.
Yeah.
Blue Run really got themselves
10 o'clock in the
a
morning.
good one. And
absolutely.
Yeah, that was dope, man.
yeah, that whole
Trey laid it
experience
down.
was dope.
It was mimosas, had breakfast there,
Yeah.
little Danishes, whatever was going on.
That was nice.
It was real nice.
And we ended up picking, and we found out what it was in terms of the age statement. We picked the 13 year,
That's right.
right? We picked
Oh
the
yeah,
it
13
was
year.
the
he
older
was
one.
like the
Yeah.
9 year, I believe, 9 or
Yeah,
8 years.
Yeah,
he
so
was.
so it came down to that. And mind you, we didn't know that at the time, but he told us the one that we picked was the 13 year one. So
Yeah, I can't wait for that to drop.
yeah, I can't wait for that to drop either. Another OC bottle shop,
Yeah.
right? And really,
Hey.
OC is about to get a lot of business.
And then the next event was, I think, was it later that night? Yes, it was later that night. It was the rare character dinner with Pablo.
First of all, the dinner
Amazing.
alone was
Right.
really good.
Amazing.
Oh man, it was delicious.
Yeah, Pablo was sitting right with us too, and we were,
Yeah.
chopping up with him.
next to your boy.
Got all the backstory of New York back in the day. And it was
Right.
He's a character. He is a character.
He is literally definitely.
So we had-
both of them are rare characters.
Yeah.
for sure.
So we had Pete on the podcast.
That's right.
And so we hadn't get a chance to meet Pablo yet until coming out there.
Right.
So it was so dope to link up with them, meet up with them.
Yeah.
I can see how they get along.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
definitely see why they like.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yin and yang.
And he brought out all the bottles. He even brought out the Fortuna barrel proof before, I think that's, just getting
Yeah.
bottled soon or about to
Yeah,
come
yeah.
out. And so we got a chance to taste that. That was super dope. And he had so many other rare characters that was like,
So many.
You-
That maple.
you had to
hey,
try 'em
that
all.
maple one we were talking about. They had
oh,
it
yeah,
there.
yeah.
See, I know what I was saying. Yeah.
But
That was there.
the thing about like rare character, and this is my point on Black and Brown, was that they got a little bit of something for
Yeah.
anybody out there. Like,
Any,
they can
yeah.
compete with
Oh, yeah.
any other brand.
Amberana,
Oh, you're
wine
doing-
finishes, exceptional if you want to go malt.
Right.
Yeah, they got everything.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to go high year, you want
Yeah.
to go medium year,
Yeah.
you want to go lighter
Yep.
in the years. You got
Yeah.
barrel proof shit. You got
Yeah. Oh, they got it. Yeah.
And we were just hanging out, almost pretty much having another bottle share, impromptu.
Yeah.
Like,
that was the
Yeah,
I was like,
unofficial.
well, officially we had 3, and then Pop was like, let's do another one. And I was like, all right, we got the space.
I'm not gonna say no.
Pablo's about that life.
Yeah.
Right? He about that life.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I was a character.
So yeah, we all
was
had a
dope.
good time out there.
Yeah.
And then what was there was just so much. Oh, and then we went back out to Buffalo Trace.
yeah.
Right.
Freddie.
Had to do that again.
Oh man, that was.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous about going back to Buffalo Trace.
Wondering if it was going to be a retread of what we already done.
I wonder if it's just gonna feel the same.
Yeah.
And it really did.
It was
different.
different.
It
I
was
feel like
totally
the tour
different.
was way more expansive than.
It really did.
Yeah.
Like
We
I
did.
didn't know they had it.
They were in construction
they
the
had
first year.
just started this, but like the woodworking shop,
That was dope.
all the
That was
all the
dope.
stuff
Right.
to do with the stage
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's pretty
Yeah.
dope.
And
that was pretty fun.
Well, I still like the best part. Well, there's a lot of dope parts, but one of my favorite parts in the beginning was when we get off the bus, right? And everybody's on the line,
Yeah.
trying to see what the release.
Yeah.
He
felt it, right?
We told Darius this was gonna
I was
happen.
like, what are you talking about? And I see you.
And
Go
we
ahead,
had
go
our
ahead, go
we
ahead.
had our Letterman jackets coming off
Yeah.
the bus.
See, we didn't
was
have
like,
that on 3.
It was like, yo, 40 brothers coming
Yeah.
off. They was like, what is this? You know, like Delvin's
definitely
joke-
some stairs.
Walking past the line, like
I think Delvin's joke was always like, what is this? The Million Man March
Yeah.
again?
Then they asked us, they're like, "Are you guys a basketball team?"
somebody did ask us that.
Somebody
did.
And so we all
no
walk
racial.
right,
It's all love.
we all walk right past them,
Yeah.
going into
Say it again. Walk right past them.
Yeah, we did. Right past. Yeah. Did the tasting again.
Excuse me, we've got places.
Excuse me.
But yeah, and then of course Freddie. I mean, he
Freddie
took
was
us to his pulpit. He was preaching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like
started
he,
crying,
he stepped
man.
up.
Yeah,
he
he was-
stepped up again. I was like,
right.
because that was what I was worried about. I was like, we got the Freddie speech. I was
This
like,
is what I'm saying.
but it was different.
It was very much different.
Yeah.
Even his
Man
whole,
said,
even the way he laid out the
Yeah.
tasting
Yeah.
was different. And I was like,
So I'm wondering if he's just that kind of guy who, in the moment,
He wasn't.
He's not
His
gonna,
whole
you know.
speech meant changing the
Yeah.
whole narrative and all
Right,
that he was
right.
talking about.
Yeah.
Man, I was really feeling that, man.
he's a real dude, man.
I didn't expect to get all.
and don't get me
emotional.
wrong, it's some of the stories and some of the
Yeah,
facts
right,
of the
right.
things are the same,
Similar or
but
same.
just the way he lays it out, you can tell it.
You
It's
could tell
not a
he felt
speech.
it. Like he
Right.
felt what he was saying to you. Like
No.
it wasn't just words.
Yeah.
It was actually emotion he was
Yeah.
conveying, and I felt everything he was saying. You know, like
And
Definitely appreciated it.
it was pretty dope. And then in terms of the tour, I've never seen so many guys go like amazed at the barrel dumping place. Everyone was so like just
That's a nice
jaw
little
dropped,
setup.
just
It was
watching it, and we literally were like just amazed.
Yeah.
And it was funny because they had one of their workers who was taking it's called the
I forget what it's called.
The
but I know-
bung.
I want to call it the bong.
Bong, yeah.
Yeah.
The bong hole, taking it out. And she literally saw how like amazed she was like
was just
tossing it
all-
out,
just wide-eyed
And we
because
felt like I almost felt like we were seals, like we were like we want.
Mike.
And everyone was taking it and like smelling it, like, and it smelled, it was awesome.
Yeah,
But I just thought it was hilarious, and we were all just like watching the barrels just roll. It was just
I like seeing the barrels roll down like the assembly line. That was cool. That
was dope.
Because you wonder, you're like, how did they move these things around?
Okay,
In the distillery,
they're
right.
heavy.
They roll them around.
Now,
Right.
now we
Machines.
also split up and we had different tours. But did you guys go into the Bland's?
Oh yeah, it had all
Yeah.
the
We did.
They had all the tops out
Yeah,
on
they
the
had all the
ground.
tops out.
My man said, "Yo, take your pick."
Well, because the what happened was when we were in there,
Yeah.
one of the boxes tipped over on the ground, and once it hit the floor, they
I
couldn't.
see.
It was a box of toppers, and once it hit the floor,
can't use that.
They can't use the toppers anymore.
we
So
can
they were
use the
just like,
souvenirs.
"Hey, you want some toppers?"
Yeah, we were all like, "Yo, you got an S, I got an S, you got an L, we got an L."
Did you complete yours? Because I know you were close.
I got all my
Okay,
toppers.
all right.
I got 3 of them.
Got all-
I got
That's
3
what's
of them.
up. Yeah.
Some of them are still on bottles. But
There you go. All right.
And then going to the gift shop was like it was a huge gift shop. Like I felt
Yeah.
like I was trying to buy gifts for everybody.
I know.
Like, because they had so.
I think I
they had
got
so
most of
much
my
merch.
gifts from
so much merch.
from
Buffalo
them.
Trace, yeah.
I bought
got
my
most
kid
of
a Buffalo Trace
got mine a
barrel,
Buffalo.
a barrel with a buffalo
Buffalo on
in
the
it.
inside.
Nice. They had Blanton's out on the shelf,
Yeah, yep.
which
so
I mean,
everyone
you
got-
know, it may seem like whatever, but
how much
we don't
you
see
pay
those in
for it?
jerseys.
no, we don't. Especially not
How much
how
we
much
paid
that
for
price.
it? It's like
Yeah.
63, was it?
Yeah, 68.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
65 after tax.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
it was cool.
All right, so that was Buffalo Trace, and then the next thing that we did, right, wasn't on the itinerary.
Right.
I think Paul got a call, right, about there might be a drop happening at Heaven Hill,
Yeah.
right? He put it out there on the group chat, like, hey, if anybody wants to go for this drop at Heaven Hill, need y'all at Hotel Distilled tomorrow morning. Mind you, this is like at what, like
What
It was
time?
late.
The midnight-
10,
yeah,
like almost
at least 11 o'clock.
And-
11 o'clock at night.
And what time they had
While
to
we
be
were
up?
already in the middle of an impromptu like bottle share or
Yeah.
something, right? He was like,
6 a.m., 6:30 a.m.
I think it was like 6 a.m.
Yeah, and that's when
Meet
you
you at
lost
hotel 6 a.m.
Yeah.
me. I said no immediately. I said we got between all four of us. I'm like, at least I know he's probably gonna go. He's probably gonna go. That's two of them.
I actually was considering not going. And then when I found out
You were.
Drew was going, I was like,
You were always going, bro.
Let's be honest, he was going.
no, the way I was tired, man. But I was
Yeah,
like,
but the proof is on our side of this argument.
I did go.
You went.
You went.
And I'm glad I went.
And Cal, you almost went too.
Yeah.
I almost went.
I heard Kyle get up,
it was
too.
like $150 plus I gotta be out in the streets. I was like, yeah.
I heard you get up too. I'm like, oh, Kyle's going too. Oh, that's nice. All three of them be going. I'll be in the bed.
No. I was sitting there doing. I was getting all of the stuff off the memory card, which I had to do anyway, and like
Yeah.
reorganize all the content that we had been, all the pictures, all that.
The responsible one. Okay.
Right. And then
I stayed back. I think I might have helped a little bit. No, I did a little.
What did you? What did you?
Cut this out. Go back.
I definitely not cut
This portion out.
You helped watch the back of your eyelids.
I was gonna say.
Well, I did all of that and watched Castlevania. That's what I did.
It was a good morning though. It was a good morning.
I mean, yeah.
It was a good morning.
Everybody enjoyed their morning.
So Joe, Tony, y'all.
We had a good time.
So,
too.
yeah. So we went. It was probably about, what did you say, about 25 of us? 20, 25?
So about half the group.
About half the group.
Yeah.
Went out there. We got there. I can't remember. Like, it was pretty early. Where I want to say probably we only got there at 7, right? 7:15, somewhere around there. And we was waiting online, and close to 2 hours, right? And so Paul, being very thoughtful, knowing how early he got us out there, my man sent someone to go to McDonald's.
A food run.
My man did a food run. He purchased a bunch of McGriddles,
I didn't hear about that,
cheese biscuits, all that stuff.
What?
This is the first we're hearing about this.
I ain't get no McGriddle or nothing. It's bullshit.
Everybody online got themselves a McGriddle or something like that. I thought that was very thoughtful. Shout
Shout out to Paul.
that didn't go unnoticed.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Archetype.
Yeah, and next thing you know, they started letting us in, and sure enough, right there behind the counter, you saw the Old Fitz
Plethora.
10 years.
Not just a few.
Not just a few.
About
There was
200
like
bottles.
200 bottles.
Crazy.
So pretty much, you didn't have to get there that early to get there.
So,
That's what it sounds
I'm not gonna lie, probably not. But it guaranteed. You never know. You never know.
That's true.
You never know.
The year before, there was nothing.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
They said
before there
no
was nothing.
special bottles, nothing.
And the same guy that came out to tell us, the
Yeah.
same guy that came out to tell us
Oh,
that
he
they
was
weren't
there.
doing it last year, was the one that was there
Yeah.
and told us that it's Old Fitz 10 year.
Right.
And I was like, and I had to remind him, like, yo, I was here last year, right
Yeah.
around this time. You told us that you guys weren't doing this, and so he was like, oh, that's pretty dope that I'm, for this go around, I could actually, I can give you some
I did
good
that wrong.
news. Yeah. So that was so dope. And so that's what the next pour is. What we're gonna taste is the
Sip it. I'm
Old
excited.
Fitz 10 year bottle and bond.
Yep.
Have we had Old Fitz? We never reviewed it on the podcast.
Right.
I think we've had a few pours.
I don't think I've ever.
You
I don't remember having.
We did.
When?
BBR 3. So when we were standing in front of Heaven Hill,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Paul went and grabbed some samples of, I don't remember which one it was. I want to say 16.
Yeah, I think so.
By we,
I wasn't
we
there.
mean everybody
I
except
know.
for Darius.
I was shaking my head the whole time. Yeah, you said we. I'm like, I'm not part of that
I
equation.
will say also, Paul did sent me a sample, and then I shared with you guys, but nobody seems to remember it. But we did have another sample of it as well.
You
I think
shared it
that
with
was,
me?
I think
You
that was
shared-
Old Fitz 19.
You shared it with me as well?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
tasted it as well?
You did.
On
But
the
we
pod?
tasted a lot of other things as well.
Wait, that was
Yeah.
on the episode on the pod?
He drank that shit.
Yo, bro, you did not share it with us, bro. That was wrong people. Maybe your friends and like your other friends. I don't.
Your industry friends.
That was not us, bro. Wrong.
Find a photo or something. I know.
Yeah, it's not gonna be us in that photo either.
So, but Tony is glad to share this with all of us.
Is he though?
So
I am.
yes. So let's
Cheers,
let's
brother.
give it a pour.
Yes, guys.
Cheers, fellas.
The first time.
This is the first.
Cheers.
This is the first.
This is the first cheers. You're welcome.
Special drop. Like, we weren't expecting this, right? Like, kind of all the other places we kind of knew we were expecting. We could go to a distillery and get this and that, but this was kind of a special drop. So,
Ooh, dark,
Yeah.
fruity, dark fruity notes, plum notes. Very fruity. Raisin.
Yeah, I'm getting a raisin.
Definitely getting raisin.
Definitely getting a raisin.
Just dried fruit in general. Because
Right.
I'm getting a little dried cherry.
yep.
Oh, I'm enjoying this nose.
Yeah, it's nice.
Man.
It's not as upfront as the Gatsby in my opinion, but it's still nice.
You mean like with the sweetness?
With the sweetness,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Gatsby was just like
Yeah,
I get a lot.
overflowing, like oh my god. But this
A lot of
is it's still
oakiness.
nice.
Yeah.
I
This
get
is
some-
this is
I
more.
think the oakiness kind of comes through a little bit on it too.
Yeah.
I mean, you have sweetness,
But no,
but it's kind of
that raisin.
I think
That's what I
that's
said on
that when we say dry fruit, I think
Yeah,
it's
it's
because there's a depth to that
Right.
sweetness.
Yeah.
And not like an upfront sweet.
Got you. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
dark fruit
Sure.
notes follow through the oakiness, and it's just the finish to me is just lingers out that the spice.
It is a little spicy.
Yeah,
On the
that's what I'm
initial,
saying.
or when I say spicy, yeah, like a sting. How is it spicy?
It's a little bit of spice there.
Yeah.
I can agree to that.
But the same thing on the nose follows through on the taste.
Yeah.
You're getting those dried fruits, the raisin,
The cherry, plum.
Does it meet your expectations?
It's got a nice finish. Long. Well, I'll say it's certainly longer than the Remus for sure.
So according to my guy amongst the whiskey, Nick, shout out. He says the mash bill is 68% corn, 20% wheat, 12% malted barley.
Oh
No rye.
No rye.
0% rye in there.
That I'm kind of
Maybe that malted barley being a little bit higher than, maybe that gives it a little bit of,
maybe.
It's still got the Heaven Hill notes though, with like the nutty, kind of texture to it.
Right.
Yeah, it's tasty, man.
It is tasty, but I'm glad I didn't wait in line for it.
Okay.
I was just thinking that same thing.
So, do you have a
No.
pour you want to give it?
Let me
Okay.
let me retract that statement to make it more accurate. I'm not glad I didn't wait in line for it. I am not upset
Yeah, I didn't wait.
that I missed it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? 'Cause that's a little different.
Yeah.
That's I'm okay that I missed it, but had I waited in line, I wouldn't have been upset
Well, no,
necessarily that I
right.
went out there and got in the bottle or whatever. But I'm not that mad that I didn't.
Gotcha.
I like the finish on this.
Yeah.
It's got a nice lingering finish with some of the same notes on the initial taste. It kind of it follows through nose, palate, and finish. And again, dark fruit notes. I guess you get a little bit of the nuttiness in the oak, but what sticks out are the dark fruit notes.
Okay.
So how much of a pour are you giving us, Darius?
Why do you start with me?
Right.
All right. Well,
You can start with me. That's fine. Hold on. Let me take one more sip. It's good. It's good. I'm with the Kyle on this, or I guess I'm glad or I'm not upset that I didn't wait in line for this because it's good. It's decent. Dark fruit notes are there. The raisin aroma. I think I like the aroma more than the flavor, in my opinion. The taste that I'm getting.
Okay.
It's just, it's not really standing out for me. For what the name is, for what it is, for the 10. It's a 10-year, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So same thing with the Greek Gatsby. Like I'm giving that those stats. Like it's a 10 years of Old Fitzgerald. So I'm expecting something to really like just to really like surprise me, and it's not really doing that. So with that, I'm probably gonna give this. Oh my god. I'm gonna give it a 3.25. A little bit more than the Gatsby
Okay.
for me.
Okay. All right.
I guess I'm not mad at it, but
I guess I will go next.
How much of a pour count?
I mean, I hate to say it, but almost the same thing. Like, it's tasty. Definitely not mad at it. I'm definitely not mad that I waited for 2 hours to get it. And yeah, I think I'm going to go with a 3.25 also. Just a little bit over the Remus. Because, I mean, if those two are what I have to select from,
yeah.
I'm going with the Old Fitz. Absolutely.
On the finish alone, I think this has, like Drew was saying, there's a better finish, so it's more fulfilling in that aspect.
Yeah, it's to me, it's got a better body too.
It's more round. It just fulfills everything you're looking for. The flavor, initial taste, and then the finish it drives home. Remus didn't really have a finish at all. It's more aroma and flavor. So with that being said, I'm yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to take away from your review, bro.
But yeah, 3.25 is what I'm going with.
For me, I am enjoying this more than the Remus, so definitely have to go up from there. The question is how much? And so I'm going to go with a 3.75. I'm going to go with 3.75. I'm definitely enjoying the finish. It's a solid pour for me. And I certainly would like to, show this off, the bottle, talk about the dark fruit notes in it. If I wanted to, I'm sort of keeping this in mind, if I wanted to go from a daily sipper with the short finish, I think I would certainly put this in the lineup to show like what a longer finish would be next as a good comparison. It's not too hot. It's not like high proof where so it has a lot of flavor for 100 proof. And that's coming from someone that's a bit of a proof snob. So I'd say I'd give this a 3.75 pour. But yeah, so 3.75. Tone, how much of a pour are you giving it?
So it's come down a little bit on my ranking because I actually reviewed this on the Black and Brown podcast when we picked it for next year review.
Right. Okay.
I was really high on it then. I still enjoy it, but I think I was a little bit, I was nostalgia and like
tipsy.
Yeah. No,
Keeping up with the hype. Keeping up with the hype, but it's Old Fitz.
I don't know. Just the more I'm sipping it, it's still good. I still have it at upper echelon range, but I think I had 4.25 when I had reviewed it with them. I really liked it, and I'm bringing it down to about where Drew's at now, like 3.75.
Okay.
I just feel like what I said on my review there was I really liked kind of the oakiness and how it kind of played with the dark fruit notes. And like I felt like the balance was really kind of good. Like I usually if it's over oaky, it kind of turns me off and it bothers me. And on this pour, I'm getting a little bit too much of the oak. It's kind of overwhelming it a little bit. I still love how, and I think this is the difference of some of the ones you guys are talking about. I think it's way more complex than any of those kind of bottom shelf Old Tub, Heaven Hill, Bottom Bond.
Evan Williams.
Oh, man.
Like, I feel like this lingers out for days. And on any of those, it's a nice budget sip, but, it's not giving that lasting flavor like this does. So, I still have it, above the range I put those in. I mean, for me.
I beg the devil.
Like right now,
I respect it.
Like
I'm
right
still
now,
tasting it.
right now, it felt like I just took a sip and that I didn't. So like, I have a lot more respect for whiskeys that could do that, and more so on a note that you can enjoy.
Right.
There's some times where you can have a long finish, and the note's like,
Ugh.
ah.
I think that's
I
good
want
with
it go away.
the 10-year age statement as well, right? I mean, you have to factor that in. None of those other, bourbons are in that same.
But that
We should do a bottle and bond episode. Just like
We should.
did it already.
It's a good
I don't
idea.
think
I feel like
We did it with Rise.
we did it with
Yeah.
Ryan.
Oh,
We should
right.
do it with bourbons.
We did it with Rise.
But it's good. I mean, I'm not mad that we waited for it and got it. I think it's a very good bottle and bond bourbon. I think presentation's beautiful. It's a beautiful bottle just to have.
It's a
I mean,
to
it
have
was
on
a
your
pretty
show.
model.
Look at this.
Pretty
I mean,
dope decanter you could turn it into.
You know what I mean? I am not mad at it. So
What's the MSRP on it?
Well, of course you're not, because you gave it a 3.75.
so we paid. Was it? I think it was 140, but
150.
we paid a little bit more than that with tax. and things like
150.
Yeah,
or
it sounds about
160
right.
is-
Sounds about right. 150.
What
Yeah.
about booze? What booze saying? You didn't check it?
Oh,
that. He's gonna look it
What's
up.
the booze apps telling us? How much is this bottle really worth?
right, especially on these streets.
Yeah.
Because
Might have
that
been
fits.
150. I don't know.
No, what?
150. I'm saying it might have been 150. I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure it was 150 because I remember
MSRP is
There
150.
you go. Yeah.
Fair price is 191, and
Shelf price.
shelf price is 150.
Oh, so
shelf
yeah,
price is not 150.
That's what it says.
Not in New Jersey.
But I honestly haven't seen Old Fitz.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen this.
Yeah.
And if I
I-
did see Old Fitz, it wasn't Old Fitz 10. It was like the 16 year.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the 10 year.
I don't know what year age statement it was, but it was definitely on a shelf behind the cashier.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it was a couple dollars for that bottle for sure.
Absolutely. At least 200.
Jeez.
At least. Which is only a $50 markup. Comparatively speaking, that's not that bad, but still.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm good.
Well, that's Old Fitz 10. And that's what we picked up on, I want to say on a humble, but like on a random, we got that call.
Quite a humble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not random
Special
if your
drop.
ass is up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
So that wasn't on the itinerary. That kind of just popped up mid.
Yeah,
So.
that was just like a little surprise.
But the next thing that we did, now this was highly anticipated. This was highly anticipated.
What was it?
This was when we went to Willet for the dinner.
Yes. I heard about that.
The burgers and bourbon. Right? And so the burgers we heard where they only
Under legend.
They
they only make, I forgot what
5 in a week or something like that.
I want to say they only make it on like Thursdays.
Right.
And
One
like
day.
5 of them.
And it's like 15.
Oh, 15? Oh, I doubled.
And that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Once they sell out, they don't make any more. You come back next week.
How many did we have that night?
Like 40 something.
Oh my God.
Each had one. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Everybody
each had
had
one.
one.
But let's back up for a second in terms of when we got there. The vibe.
Oh.
The place was shut. The place was shut down.
Shut down.
Right,
At
just
night.
open for us.
Just for us.
You walk in, they playing those 90 hip hop tunes.
Still the tunes. were
Outside.
It was like,
And
these is old black people?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I was impressed. I was
I
impressed.
definitely
But-
appreciate it.
So and then they had the table set up. We had the hats,
they got the hats, the little
the
patches for
patches.
jackets.
We had the pour of
15 year.
15-year.
15-year
I
purple
forgot
top.
about that. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Sitting there
Right.
at the table.
Just sitting there, waiting to be drank. And he drank.
And we had a pretty dope bartender. What was her name? I remember got seated on the last. What was her
Katie.
name? Katie.
Katie.
She was hooking it up behind the bar.
She's an
She
artist,
was doing her
man.
thing.
Some of the stuff
Stuff
she
that-
does.
yeah.
She was doing her thing.
She was
Those-
whipping it, putting the Willett W on the top.
You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
With the
I had to
skin.
get one of those.
It was
Yeah.
straight
Yeah,
art.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I asked her. I was like, "Oh yeah, can you make? I think was it a sour? Was it some type of
whiskey sour.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And and then she was like, "Okay." And then she asked homeboy like, "Okay, can you make it for me?" I was like, "Wait, I want to do
you
it." But homeboy was cool. He was cool.
Yeah,
He was like, get him out of here. You.
But you know, we just went back and eventually I saw her make plenty of them though.
Nah, she was killing. She was doing her thing.
But and then again, I had to go back to the '90s vibes, like the '90s, like hip hop, like. We was really having a good time.
It was like a movie in there, bro.
It was we
like
was really having a good time. And if you think about this now, let's take a step. Let's even rewind it right to BBR3, or actually before BBR3. Do you remember when we got invited and we were apprehensive about even going to Kentucky? Like in terms of like we can be out there, like we could be. Yeah, us. Like, black folks going from distillery to distillery, like, and when we heard,
Getting drunk.
like, this like,
that's fact.
it's safe out there?
Right.
Everybody
You know?
got told at that same thought. You going to
You know?
Kentucky, bro? Like,
Yeah.
yo, just be careful.
Right.
I was like, what you mean? Like, I was just being ignorant with it. Like,
And then fast forward to BBR4 when Willett put that presentation for us, that, of course,
you belong
was
here.
the architect, Paul,
yeah,
definitely
shout
helped pretty much
Put it together.
put that thing together.
Yeah.
That's when I remember I told Paul, I was like, I could see your passion is in your execution. Like that, like what you did, that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
And we were having like again we was rapping but did they put Biggie on? We was just
They put all the hits on, man.
man, the
It was
vibe.
just the whole, it was a vibe.
That was
was
a Black Bourbon Run. That was if you could encapsulate, it was us whiskey enthusiasts being very comfortable, being catered to with these high end like Willet purple top bottles, got the burgers.
Got the
Man,
burgers. They
what?
only make 15 in them one day. We got 40 of them Jones, bro. We got 40 of them. And the burgers were delicious.
Oh my God. You're not getting that kind of experience.
Oh my
right?
God.
If you go to Kentucky on your own and like say, oh, we want to go visit Willet, you are not
No,
getting.
because we did that last year.
Who are you?
Right.
And they were like, oh, that's great. Here's the menu.
Right. Yeah,
What do you wanna
order a
buy?
Flight for crazy amount of money, and
Nah, it
And I
was
mean,
just,
it's just one of those experiences. Like I don't think just anyone could plan that, execute it.
it felt
the
like
way it was done.
the whole week, man.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Paul, man. Everything was just organized perfectly. Like, we knew where we were going.
Yep.
You were expected. It was just like there was no confusion about anything. It was all well planned, well thought out, and you could just see that. Like Drew was saying, like his execution was just amazing, man. Like, shout out to him, man, because that was just to be a part of that was just so monumental for me, man. As a black man, just being there with you guys, being able to make it. It was just beautiful, bro. Like, I can't even, the words don't do it justice, man. Like, they really don't. You really got the experience, man. Like,
So-
you really do.
Yeah, it was just pretty dope. So that's the bottle that we got to taste next. Actually,
Oh
It's a
yeah.
Willet.
Oh yeah.
Um,
yeah.
Actually ran into this in between events. Saw it at the liquor store. I can't remember the name of it.
Frankfurt Avenue.
Frankfurt.
That was before, close to the Rare Character Dinner. That was a spot I wanted to take you guys to.
Yeah, and I always wanted a purple top.
Yeah.
and
Now
so
you got it.
And then around here in Jersey, you see it for like $600.
Yeah, right.
How much you get it for out there?
It was like $300.
Wasn't it less than like 2? It was 3.
it
was
was
it 3?
It was like
Oh,
it was
okay.
3.
But still, that's like
I've never, when you go to the liquor store, you see it behind the counter or
Just sitting
behind the
there.
glass,
Right.
and you see it there like $600. I can't.
How am I supposed to
How
do
am I
that?
supposed to do
that's
that?
almost a G, bro. Like,
And so I was at the time I was kind of holding out for a bottle like this,
Yeah.
and so it was sitting there all lonely on the shelf.
the last one, right? The last one. So it was
The
like
last one.
at that point, it was
said-
like it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
I'm happy to pop it open and share it with you guys.
She did.
Well, who else, right?
Yeah.
Cheers.
So
Are we gonna cheer this up, Cal? Cal.
Yeah, so I'm with y'all. All right.
Yeah. So this is the Willet Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, aged 8 years.
That's right.
8 years.
It's funny. I'm kind of getting in between the Gatsby and the Old
Oh, really?
Fitz. Yeah. Because it has a lot more forward sweetness to it.
Yeah.
A lot more of the typical brown sugars and molasses and
I'm still getting the dark fruit though. I mean, heavy.
But I am getting also the dark
Plum.
fruit, which is why it goes into
Stone
old
fruit.
fruit.
I know you guys.
It's not as full as the Old Fitch, but
Right.
it's definitely more flavorful
Yeah.
compared
Less
to
of the oak
the Gatsby.
nice.
Mm-hmm. At least on the nose.
On the nose.
All right, I gotta take it.
So the Willet 8-year is distilled from a mixture of corn, wheat, and malted barley, unchilled filtered.
Yeah, that nose is nice.
There's a sophistication on the nose here.
From the jump, it's like you know what you're getting into.
You know what? I'm just gonna say what comes out on my nose. Just I'm trying to. It's like a champagne or something that I'm getting.
Okay.
Just gonna say whatever comes out of my nose.
I'm enjoying the nose.
Yeah.
It's my speed. That's rich. But then
It is rich.
and then the finish though. Wait, hold on. Where's the finish?
It's right. It's in between those two. It's definitely fuller than the Gatsby.
The finish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fuller. Flavor wise.
Okay.
It's definitely
It
fuller.
disappears to me.
It's not as
It does.
stingy as the Gatsby.
It did initially, not
But-
anymore.
Right.
I'm about to say like
It
the
doesn't
finish.
quite disappear for me. It lingers, not quite to the same level as the
yeah,
old
Old Fitz,
Fitz,
right.
but it lingers.
Yeah, because you're not
way
getting the
longer.
spiciness really. It's more of the.
When it comes to these whiskeys or bourbons that I really like, there's a particular note or texture that I can taste on it, and this has it. There's a butteriness to this. I like the buttery note, especially when it's mixed with other flavors. There's a bit of a journey here. The finish initially wasn't as long as the Old Fitz, but on the second sip, it's there, it's still there.
What you guys were saying about the Old Fitz is what I'm getting from this.
Okay.
Like the taste, like still tasting it, even though you're not drinking it. That's what I'm getting from this bottle, like 1,000%. Like this.
Yeah, this is like a buttery popcorn I'm
This
getting.
is like, oh my god.
Champagne,
He's still
buttered
bars.
popcorn.
Champagne.
I think I know what I'm gonna go with. So, all right, I think I'm gonna go 3.5
Ooh, okay.
because it's gotta be it. In my opinion, it's more enjoyable than the Old Fitz's. So it got that extra 0.25.
But not blowing it out.
But not blowing it out of the water?
Nah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, because to be honest, neither one is bad. So it's you know what I mean. It's hard to blow something of quality out of the water.
Gotcha.
But it, in my opinion, it is a clear which one is better.
Yeah.
Finish is getting longer for me.
I agree.
Because you keep drinking.
It's more pronounced on the finish.
Out of all three of these, in my opinion, this one tastes the closer to what it's priced at. Like, I can see, okay, this is expensive. And depending on what's going on, I might Drew. You know, I'm not, but I might have to just.
You would drop $3.
I'll think about it.
Think about it.
These other two,
I don't
no
know
offense
if
to
it's
those, those are good.
That's half the price. The Old
I
Fitz.
get it, but I'm just
I'm
saying,
saying.
out of all three of these, the Willet, I can understand. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
this is expensive, and I see why, and it follows through on the aroma, on the taste, and the finish. Like I'm tasting it right. Like what you were saying about Fitz, I'm tasting it right now,
Drop them pores,
and
bro.
I'm not even drinking it.
Drop them
Hey,
pores,
so
bro.
for my pour, that is. It's starting at 4. I gotta give. I can't go lower than that.
Starting at 4.
I can't go low. I can't go lower than that. That would be doing it an injustice. No offense to Kyle. I respect it.
Sorry, Kyle.
I'm just saying.
Didn't you already say 3.5?
No, not on this.
Oh, that was the last one.
That was the last
Old
one.
Fitz.
You are. Wow.
So yeah, I definitely want more of this, like 100%. So I'm probably gonna go for 0.25 right now.
Lies.
But I'm between 4 and 4.25.
Wow.
There's no lies there, bro. That's all facts.
I'm gonna put this in a random ass bottle, and then we should have these conversations together.
No, we should. Cause it might change because we also tasted different things tonight. We've also eaten food which could affect your taste.
You also kept up with the Joneses.
So you're right. It may change. That's why I said between 4 and 4.25. But right now I'm going to just stick with 4.25 and not deviate from that right now.
For me, yeah, I definitely know I couldn't go lower than a 4. So that part was easy. The thing for me is the complexity. I usually give a big. I look at the complexity to really see how far I'm going to push past a 4. But I'm going to have to add another factor to that, and that would be this butteriness. I'm really enjoying the butteriness, the texture, and combining it with the notes of, it's like a champagne buttered popcorn with some fruit notes on the.
That sounds amazing.
Everything.
That sounds like
on the finish.
that sounds like a steady
Everything
pour.
that a pregnant woman would want.
And so with that, I'm gonna give this a 4.5. I'm gonna give this a 4.5.
That was an extra 0.5 right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna push this up there.
That's almost a steady pour.
Yeah.
Woo. Tony, it's on you. What's up?
Pressure.
It's on you. There's no pressure, bro.
Just say what you
Yo,
gotta.
speak your truth.
We already know your lane.
Speak your truth, bro. Speak your truth.
So, I want to give this a 4.
Oh, wow. You led with that.
I really do. I feel like it's 95% of the way to.
He's going 3.75.
I already know. 'Cause he said I wanted. You said you want to give it a 4, so really you're not giving it a 4. So go ahead.
Right, and we wouldn't be talking about if this is a 4.25 or a 4.5.
I love the nose. I love the dark fruit, the buttery notes that Drew was talking about, that follow through on the taste. And the finish, the start of the finish, I love where it's going, and there's just a
What's the
touch.
issue?
I get this like chalky note almost. It's this weird turn on the. I don't know if it's something with the dark fruit and it being weeded, and it's just it takes a weird that linger in the finish of that chalky note to me is what holds it back just a little bit. And it's not enough to bump it down to a 3 or something crazy like that, but that's preventing it from putting in that upper echelon for me. So.
Right. So it sounds like it's a 4 until you get that note, and then you got
that note is just like why is that there? Maybe it's just how it sits on my palate, but.
I wonder how it would rate at a different time.
Yeah. I mean, because I've had other Willets where I didn't get that right. Where maybe a similar mash bill or something like that didn't hit my palate that way. So
Quite linger the same way.
yeah.
think this is the same one that you had in BBR3 at Evergreen,
It is.
right? Isn't? Yeah.
Right.
And then we had other
Purple
purple
tops.
tops
Right.
that are not the weeded
Right.
ones.
So maybe it's the weeded. That's what I'm wondering. If it's something like that.
The wheat.
It's not bad.
That weeded adds a different little flavor profile too for you.
It's just something in my palate that's
It's
like,
like,
I said,
nah.
it's that chalky. What is that? So, but like I said, it's definitely. I'm definitely not mad at it. I'll keep drinking it. It's just I'm wondering if that note is just something I'm getting tonight, or if it's something that's.
You don't want more. But you don't want more. You're not mad, but you don't want more.
The smoke.
You don't want more.
It's all good. I'm not turning it away.
Me and Drew will get some more.
Yeah, I know. So,
Yeah, I'm actually really enjoying this. And so that was the experience at Willet. Certainly, there'll see some posts and some things coming out of there.
Definitely.
Coming out from that. That was just a good time. I really,
That was a great time, man.
yeah.
That was a fantastic time. I definitely should have taken more videos of us individually at that.
The burger. Yeah.
It's a hard balance.
It's so hard because you're trying to enjoy yourself.
I know.
Yeah.
And be in the moment. That's the whole thing. I have the issue with the whole cameras and all that. Like, you want to be in the moment and enjoy yourself, but at the same time, you do want to capture things.
Right.
And when you're,
You want to be able to put the camera down.
When you're in this field, like, sometimes you gotta remember that. Okay, you gotta capture things too, because we gotta be able to post things.
I will give a shout out throughout the whole trip. Sober Bourbon Girl was really good about that.
Oh no, yeah, she was on a job.
She was on. I mean,
Every time I seen her, she had the gimbal going. She was just like moving.
We were able to get a lot of content
Definitely.
without us even having to do anything, just because she was kind of just
She was doing her
on
thing.
the job all the time. So shout outs to her. Nakia
Yeah.
did a great job.
She did.
helping out with that and driving us around and all that stuff. So
That's how I know, because I did the old school like selfie video of me like rapping and just showing everybody I had a good time.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we all did that, bro. That was fire.
So next on the itinerary, we went out to Michter's.
yeah,
Not the Fort Nelson,
right.
that's open to the public. We had the
Shively campus.
We had
Shively,
the
yeah.
full,
Yeah.
but the behind the scenes experience.
which is not something that if you just say, "Oh, I'm going to Michter's," like
Nah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you have to get a person. An invite.
We had to have our
We're
cover our
not
hair. We had
gonna get
to
all
put
of that.
cover
Over
our
the tour,
beard.
yeah.
Well, if they come,
Yeah.
if you go on a tour,
Right,
you
right.
probably
Oh, I
have to
didn't
do
know that.
anyway.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know. I felt like-
Anywhere in those very like honed environment
Right.
spaces,
Yeah.
yeah, all of that. You
Okay.
gotta
That was
cover
my
it.
first time. I was like, oh, this is different. Like, I gotta wear a whole a fish net on my head. Like, that's crazy.
And on your chin.
And on my chin, I barely got any hair there, but I gotta cover it. So
Yeah, but it was a good tour, man. We got to go through and see their process of all these bottles that we all see on the shelves and like how they go through. Like it's a big distillery, right?
it was
so yeah, they had the head distiller,
Yeah.
what was
Dan McKee.
Dan McKee.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they had the master blender.
Andrea.
Yeah.
Shout out.
And then they had a lot of their from like their executive team, if you will, there.
They had HR people and all
And
kinds of
bro,
stuff.
they even had like Jackie from accounting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That and I kind of geeked out a little bit. I kind of geeked out when I was like, "Yo, you brought accounting in here."
They put a cat, they put a Jerry in there. They put
No distilleries ever brought accounting in.
Right.
Right. Not to talk about accounting,
No,
but
just-
that
just the
person
team.
was there to talk
Yeah.
about the whiskey, the tour. She was giving out the tour.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to work in the accounting department when I give a tour of the facility. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds fire.
But I actually did geek out a little bit. I was asking her about inventory management and auditing the barrels and so forth.
Yeah, I had a little geek talk.
Yeah,
Little accounting talk. Like,
Glass is real far back.
it was just like,
I was like,
so
yo.
this is what you do over here, right?
I know the auditors got to come in here and do the inventory count.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
are they tasting the whiskey? How do they know it's whiskey in the barrel? You know what I mean? They gotta.
Y'all need some accounts on the team? Like, what's up? Like,
But yeah, so the whole tour was dope. We got to see a lot of, they had to tell us we had to put the cameras away at certain
Yeah.
places.
When we saw the barrel dumps, that was pretty much.
that was fire.
Yeah, we
that-
got into
tasted
because they have a filtering process. They have right, and so there was a little bit of debate about whether or not their juice tastes better straight out the barrel or before it's filtered or after it's filtered.
Shout out to my guy, man.
Shout out
from,
to Sean was
Yeah,
Sean
that
was
was-
ready to go to war
He
with
was
that
like,
dude.
nah, y'all need to bottle this.
It's like, why y'all don't have this in the filter product? Like, y'all can do both. Why not do both?
It was good. It was a good debate. Though.
It was
good
though.
hearted. It wasn't like
he was trying to hate on my dude, but he had a good point because that straight out the barrel was
incredible.
Yeah,
it was nice.
Really, really
I
good.
could. They have a market for it.
Yeah.
Like they could do it, but they don't want to do it. I respect it.
yeah. And then we had a tasting afterwards,
Did we?
where we had their sour mash, their bourbon,
Yeah,
the rye.
like 6 different tastings bottles on there.
We had the
10-year rye,
10-year
10-year bourbon,
and
Shanks.
Oh yes,
Bomb
yes,
burgers.
yes.
Toasted. Did we have the toasted sour mash? I believe we did.
I think we did. Yes, and then yes,
the
Michter's
last
20.
one we had was the Michter's 20, which was
Yeah.
unreal.
But even their processing was like, I think that was the most like automation I seen at a distillery. They had like the robotic arms.
Yeah.
They had everything like literally the whole thing was just like automation. And there was, I think at the end they had people just actually like putting stuff in the boxes and whatnot. But most of it was like a robotic arm grabbing a box, putting over here, putting bottles. I'm like, yo, this isn't. You see this like in movies and stuff like that, but to see it in real life, I was like, yo, this is crazy, man. It's like the future. That was pretty. That was pretty dope to see behind the scenes, man. Like
They definitely rolled out the red carpet for us, like in every aspect.
Definitely.
And then the tasting on top of it, you know.
That's the little cherry on the top right
I
there.
didn't know coming in. You know, I thought maybe we'll taste like the 10-year bourbon and the 10-year rye or something. You know what I mean? And be like,
They had like at least 6 different,
Bro, they brought out the 20-year.
Yeah.
They
The
did.
Michter's 20.
Yeah.
They did. We had all of it.
Yep.
Not to brag about it, but
And then we had a nice like Q&A afterwards.
Yeah.
One of my favorite questions.
I already know where he going with this.
Homeboy, did we? You didn't
Chris.
say Chris. Okay, we gonna say that. Yeah, Chris. I mean, I forgot what brought it up, but the question that he asked was to the master blender, right? And to Andrea.
Yes.
He was saying like, does he find it that, or does she find it that there's some validity to women tend to like a lighter proof or lower proof than the higher proof. And for the women that were there, I mean, they were about to jump.
To be fair, yes, they were.
Yeah, they were.
Did you not see their faces, bro? Their faces said it all. They didn't verbally say it.
To me, their faces suggested, where are we going with this, bro?
Nah, their faces was like, yo, bro, why would you ask that question?
But I also feel like they felt the energy of the rest because it was, what? We're talking 3 women?
It was like
3 or 4.
It was 4, yeah.
Okay, so we're
less
talking
than 5.
4 women compared to
30 plus, 35 plus men.
right, 40 dudes. Right? So I think part of that was us thinking that they had an issue.
No.
Part of the energy in there? Because I know part of my personal feelings were, I wonder how
I thought that same thing. That's why I looked for the women, like, where are the women? That's like, see how they
said.
I personally feel like at least a decent portion of the men in there were more like, wait a minute, where is this going? More than that was just a terrible question to ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Andrea, she did say that. I mean, it's not as bad as it perhaps sounded, and it didn't sound bad. It's just like
it's a legitimate question.
It's just, and she was like, and in the context of when it came up too, what she was talking about. And sorry, I don't remember the context exactly, but she did give a thorough answer to that, a well thought out answer to that.
She did.
Which concluded in yes, yes, women like lower proof.
And
not the woman there though. The woman there was like, no,
like higher proof. You know, she just kind of said it depends on.
And then the master distiller, he was telling him, he was like, actually, Chris was like, yeah, because my wife, he took it personally. He's like, well, my wife likes it. Like a lower proof. And then he goes, he's like, well, your next one, your next one might not.
My man was like, whoa.
I just like how they were like ripping on each other too. Like Dan and Andrea were kind of, you could just tell it was like
it was a whole like
it wasn't like
family vibe, they were like siblings and whatnot.
They were
Like,
ripping on each other. Dan's like, oh, my name's on the bottle.
is your name on the bottle?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Shout out to Dan, man.
It was a great dude.
Yeah, that was a pretty dope experience.
It was really dope.
Yeah. And then, so that was pretty much towards the end. And so then the last thing on the itinerary
Probably
was
my favorite
taking
part,
a trip outside of Louisville,
Oh man.
outside of Kentucky.
Outside of
I mean, right across the
Bridge.
bridge, right across the bridge over the Starlight.
Oh man,
That was a good trip.
that was a
time.
great. That was a whole
Yeah.
vibe
I
out
felt
there,
like
man.
this is what it was the perfect way to
end it.
the Black Bourbon Run. I know a lot of there was a good amount of people who didn't get to go to that. Because our group was down to probably maybe...
People left like
20
that
maybe?
Thursday. I think.
Maybe 20?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit more,
Yeah,
but
not much more.
Not much more. I would say like maybe like
It was
24.
a small group
Yeah.
compared to, you know...
Yep.
Right, the rest of the
almost
week.
50 we had. So it was just a real cool experience. We got to do a tour. And it's just a different vibe out there, you know?
It's a whole different
Yeah.
vibe, man. You can bring your family out there.
So
yeah.
that's the part that was that caught my eye. It was like that was like a family run operation.
Yeah,
And it wasn't just
Definitely a
because
family affair.
Yeah, it's a farm as well as this distillery.
As well
And-
as the weather.
Yeah, the weather was dope out there.
Nice.
It was the perfect time.
They got the water, the lake
Yeah.
out there, man. You
And-
just go out there and chill.
And so when we went out there was like having school field trips, right?
It was very busy.
It was pretty busy day.
Yeah.
We're like walking around with like parents and kids. So Starlight just had a pretty dope vibe that we definitely enjoyed in terms of like the family being out there. Like I said, kids on field trips. You had pumpkin painting and
Apple picking.
Homemade ice cream.
all that. And so
yeah.
the vibe was definitely different. It was a beautiful day. And then, of course, right in the midst of all this, we go dip off into a rick house, and there's nothing but goodness in there.
Nothing but
And
barrels.
there was just pour after pour after pour.
We went to more than one Rick House, right?
It was just
I think it was just one.
one.
It was just
Yeah.
Just the one?
It felt like more than one.
It definitely
It
did.
felt like more than one, but it was
Well,
just one with a bunch of different barrels.
We did a tour, right, of the operation, but the
Right.
rick house that we
Tasted it.
Was one.
was one.
Was one.
Huh.
And
Alright.
there was just so many.
Yeah, it was
So
a lot of
many.
barrels in there, man. He was just going. He was just like moving.
Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom. It was just. It was wild, man.
The
Shout out
family,
to
Wow.
Andrew, Yeah.
yeah, the Family Reserve one was like my favorite.
So good.
Um,
I really like the Mizunara finished one, too.
If I'm not mistaken, I thought it was the Family Reserve in the Mizunara, or
Maybe.
The fact y'all can remember what y'all tasted.
Right.
I was just like, bro.
those were the two big runs.
impressive.
Yeah, those are two.
That's very
I thought-
impressive, bro. I was just
Yeah.
like tasting, like this all tastes delicious.
I recall that there was something that we liked that we had separate, and then we had that same distillate or juice that was also finished in Mizunara. I think, from what I can remember but I just remember liking those for sure. Yeah, those were my favorite.
You guys are definitely on another level. Because
Yeah.
bro, I was just drinking at that point, bro. Just like, okay, I'll take some of this. Okay, I'll take some of that.
When I saw how many pours and how heavy of a pour they were giving all the samples, I was like, I'm not gonna last. So and plus it was at
he
the,
told you too. You could just like, if you don't drink it, just throw it on the barrel.
On the barrel,
Like, literally,
yeah.
just throw it out.
felt
And
weird when I
that felt
first
weird
did
doing
that, I
it.
was like,
But when I did it though, it was like, okay, this. He said it was cool.
It's kind of fun.
He didn't really care.
and it was at the end. It was at the end of Black Bourbon Run,
Right,
so our palates were kind of a little bit
Fried.
toasted. It was
Fried. That is
We-
one
we-
thing I remember. It was about 2, maybe 3 tastes in, and this is kind of before we even got to the Rick House, because I think I might have only had one in the actual Rick House that I could really appreciate, because my tongue wasn't like done.
No more.
Oh my God, it gave up.
Yeah.
It's straight, like I could feel them go, no.
More. It was like more.
Feel them be like, oh.
Your body was like, please stop. Please stop.
I mean, my body was okay. Like I had enough water. You know what I mean? I had my vitamins.
okay.
Like my body was all right. My taste buds were fucking done. Like,
like,
they
yo,
were
bruh.
like, nah, bruh. What are you doing?
Why are
right
you
now?
still doing this?
yeah,
You were not trying to taste anything right now.
yeah. It was it was a lot. But it was a good thing that it was at the end, right?
Yes.
And so after Starlight, the fun part began of figuring out what bottles we can actually fit in our suitcases.
Oh my god! And was that an experience or not?
Oh, man.
You're welcome for bringing that scale,
You
because
did
we
say
didn't
this
have
on
that.
that.
We didn't have that scale. We would have been at the airport like, ew. If you give me this bottle, give me this bottle. Can you weigh us now?
Yeah, we was trying to get the weight right.
It was an
Yeah,
experience, man.
Yeah, you guys were figuring out Walmart suitcases. And,
Hey,
yeah,
Worked out.
it worked out.
It worked out.
it did work out. I definitely returned that suitcase.
He said, "Don't touch the tag."
Don't,
Yeah.
do not remove this.
Nope.
Took it back to got back to Jersey. Let me go right to Target real quick. Let me get this refund.
It was the perfect week, man.
Yeah,
That was an experience, man.
that was that was dope. Shout out to Paul Black Bourbon Maverick for organizing that.
He did his thing.
Did his thing. Way better than it was from Black Bourbon Run 3, and Black Bourbon Run 3 was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just a little jealous of people who've been there since Black Bourbon Run to be able to see
First one?
the elevation and whatnot.
Yeah.
This being my first one,
Yeah.
so I can't imagine being there from 1
You
to
have
2
zero.
to
You have
3.
zero
So
elevation.
now I have like 4, and it was just like an amazing. Like, where do you go up from here now? Like,
Yeah, he's
you
gonna-
know.
We said
We'll
that on
find
three.
out.
Well, I guess we will. We will.
So-
We will for sure. For sure.
And then one thing that we didn't mention while we were out there, but we're certainly going to talk about it in this later episode, was when we went out to Peerless.
Definitely.
So definitely look forward to that episode
Yes.
when we dropped that. We was able to make it out to Peerless.
Yeah.
Off the beaten
Live
path.
on the set.
Yeah, and
Golden.
that was another whiskey experience that we didn't initially plan,
Never happened.
and it was a dope one. And we'll be certainly sharing that with you guys on a later episode. So definitely look out for that.
Definitely.
Anything else for the good of the cause, fellas?
I think we said it
covered
all.
a whole lot.
I think we said it all.
Yeah.
Kentucky, go if you can. That's it.
Yeah.
Experience it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that's the BB4 recap, BBR4 recap, and we'll see you and catch you guys on the next episode. Deuces.
Peace.
Much love to y'all.
Well, that concludes this episode of a Steady Pour podcast. Make sure you follow on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Yeah.
I think we can go another hour, man. Let's go.
Let's keep going.
No,
Another episode.
Get the fuck out of my house.